Alright guys, so it's been a couple of weeks since the last race in Hungary before the summer break, and I've been thinking. Of course, now with how the championship battle has folded out this season so far, it's looking close to impossible for Charles Leclerc to win the championship. Ferrari have been the main force keeping Leclerc from staying close to Max in terms of points, but the other factor has been, well, himself. So not only has his team screwed him over this season, Charles did so too. And also when it mattered most, because when you're fighting for a championship in F1, there really is no room for mistakes, and Charles and Ferrari have made too many in just half a season. So that got me asking myself the question, can Charles Leclerc ever win an F1 title? At the start of the season, it was looking very good for both Charles and Ferrari. They seemed to have the fastest car, and their closest competitor, Red Bull, had managed to make what seemed like the most unreliable car on the grid, with both Verstappen and Perez DNFing on the season opener in Bahrain. So up until Australia, the third race of the season, Ferrari were looking absolutely on point. Until this happened. Yep, while chasing Perez and Verstappen, Charles spun at the chicane and hit the wall and almost cost himself all potential points. But luckily the car wasn't too badly damaged and he could keep going. So he recovered a P6 finish, which was quite decent. However, this would be the first crucial mistake Charles would make this season, setting off a domino effect of mistakes from both him and Ferrari. France was yet another crucial mistake caused solely by Charles when he spun out from P1, got his front wing stuck under the barrier and couldn't get the car back out on track. Obviously, this was already at a point where Ferrari had managed to screw over most of Charles' races with absolutely legendary strategy calls, so any championship hopes had already started slipping out of Leclerc's hands. But this mistake in particular seems to have been the final nail in the coffin for this season. And that is the reason for this video. If both the team and the driver make mistakes on a fairly common basis, there rightfully won't be a single shred of hope of winning the championship. Especially not if you're against Max Verstappen and Red Bull in their current form, or say Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes in 2020, where mistakes are seen as something rare and they're taken extremely heavily, whereas it seems as Ferrari just forgive and forget every single time something goes wrong for them, which, like I've said, has become a habit for them. These factors right here are precisely what loses you a championship. But looking specifically at Charles, team aside, he would definitely be a lot closer to Max. However, I still don't think he would win the championship in the form he's had this season. Obviously, it's not as simple as that. A driver doesn't just have a dip in form and that's it. There are reasons behind them, and likely Charles' reason has to do with, you've guessed it, Ferrari. This whole season, it's apparent he has worked extremely hard in races, only for the Ferrari pit wall to throw it in the bin. So I think this has likely had a mental effect on Leclerc, as it would on pretty much anyone. So I think if Ferrari were more on his side during races and actually focused on helping him finish higher in a race rather than whatever they usually do, Charles' form I think would be better. It could be marginal or significant, but it would definitely make a difference. So let's just say hypothetically Ferrari rarely made mistakes. I know, it's a crazy thought, but yeah, if that were the case, they would likely be neck and neck with Red Bull at the moment, more or less anyway. So I definitely believe that Ferrari as a team are what's holding Charles back most, but his mistake in Imola was at a time where he was in the lead of the championship and quite comfortably at that, so he was supposed to be in top 4. And if that's Charles at his best right now, then no, I don't believe he'd be capable of winning a championship battle against Max at the moment. You have to remember that he only has 5 career wins. Sure, he'd have a few more if it weren't for Ferrari, but my point is he just doesn't have all the experience yet, and I can definitely see him improving. With more time, yeah, I do think Charles can win a championship in future, and honestly, looking back at his junior career, specifically from 2016 and onwards, I think anyone can see he has serious potential, and he's shown it so far in F1 too. I just think a bit more time and a few more races will do him well. The last thing we do have to consider is how long Charles is planning on sticking with Ferrari. If there's anything we've learned from the past, it's that when things get rough at the Scuderia, it's not necessarily a bad idea to jump ship. I mean, look at what they did to Vettel in 2017 and Alonso's whole stint with them, or even look at Felipe Massa. We've seen far too many title-worthy drivers lose their shot at the championship with Ferrari, and let's be honest, Ferrari fan or not, that's not a coincidence. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible to win the title together with Ferrari, but the team needs an overhaul, and at the moment, their competitors seem a whole lot more competent than they are. It would honestly suck not seeing Charles live out his dream with Ferrari, but like I said, if things don't improve there soon and Charles doesn't jump ship to Mercedes, Red Bull or any other competent team in future, there is a chance we could see another Vettel, Alonso or Massa Ferrari stint. But yeah, to answer the question, yes, I believe Charles can win a championship, just not in his or Ferrari's current state or form. In future, however, and I mean near future, I think things can change for the better. However, it does require Ferrari to open their eyes and assess their current situation honestly. But yeah, that does it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like and support the growth of this channel by subscribing. The algorithm really seems to like that. And if you do have anything to add, please feel free to do so in the comments below. But on that note, guys, I hope you all have a blessed night and I hope to see you all next time.